You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't changing my tone, ain't changing my song. I was born this way, been loud too long. You can hate my style, you can roll your eyes, but I ain't slowing down, I was born to rise. So kick them rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk.
I've served 2 years in the House of Delegates, and it's been really, a fulfilling experience. And I've got my footing under me now, so I feel like this position is ideal for me to serve another term. And I certainly am looking forward to. I always say, I'll never be a politician, but I will be a public servant. And my opponent, I will tell you that he's a nice young man, but yeah, there you go. You're gonna bargain? But, I'm gonna make him earn it, if he does win, which I don't think that he's going to, but if he does, it's because he outworked me, and I don't think that's possible. So thank you guys for allowing me to be here, and I hope to represent you for 4 more years. Thank you.
Okay, welcome back to Bridging the Gap. We are here with
Delegate candidate C.L. Marshall. I'm running for delegate in 38A.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and 38A is a little bit of a weird district. We take in Berlin, south of Berlin, all the way down through public land in Snow Hill, all of Somerset County,
wow.
and around Princess Anne up into Allen a little bit.
Okay,
yep.
So what makes you want to do this?
It's pretty simple. The lower shore, that area I spoke of, Somerset County and the lower eastern shore, we were represented by Delegate Otto for a number of years. And one of the things that we've always had to fight for a voice to be heard on the lower part of the eastern shore. We are unlike any other part of the state. We have things down in Somerset County and the lower shore that they have nowhere else. It's a place of unparalleled beauty and unparalleled opportunity down that way.
Now, thank you. Now, what are some of the things in your area that you want to fight to try to preserve?
It's pretty simple, Fishermen, farmers, family, and faith. That's what I'm all about right now.
Like that.
That's it. That is what we are on the eastern shore. We're made up of a group of hard-working people. Farmers, fishermen. They get their hands dirty. They rise early. They work hard. And we certainly don't want anybody from Prince George's County on the other side of the bridge telling us how we want to live.
Right.
Where we are here is a very special place. I'm proud of it. I lived here all but 2 of my 62 years, and I'm going to make sure that I can fight and represent the people that are from the Eastern Shore, along with Delegate Beecham and some of the other folks, man. It's all about teamwork. And I believe that if I'm successful here, we can have a good team to work together. And we're going to be able to change the way Annapolis thinks? I don't think so, but I can tell you this, they're going to know we're here.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I know a lot of times it seems like, especially our delegates that are Republican, your back's against the wall because it's our state's so blue.
Right.
So what makes you think that you're going to make a difference in such a blue state?
It's not so much that I individually can make a difference, because the numbers are stacked against us. But that team I just spoke of, the Eastern Shore Coalition, if we work together, we can get things done. And when you get out on the floor and that's one part of the job, but the real job's done in committee. And that's where we can affect some change. We've got strong leaders that are currently serving. We've got some that are running now. And I hope to be part of that team. But more importantly, win, lose, or draw, they're going to know where we stand on the lower shore. They're going to know where Somerset County stands. They're going to know where Pocomoke, Princess Anne, Girdletree, Stockton, all these small towns on the eastern shore. If I'm elected, I'm going to be the voice for those people. Will I win every fight? No, I will not. But I can promise you this, my friend. I will show up for all of them.
Wow. I like your energy.
Yeah.
I really do. You definitely have a characteristic of fight in you.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Well, down here on the Eastern Shore, man, we're always up against it. There's always, they're telling us what we want to do from the left side of the bridge and the left side of the aisle. And no, sir, no thank you. You know, and one thing I will say, and it says it on my sign right there, Eastern Shore first. And if it makes sense for the Eastern Shore, if I got to reach across the aisle and take the hand of somebody on the other side of the aisle, and it's going to benefit the Eastern Shore, then I'm going to do that.
Wow, you definitely just took my last question, which was, will you be willing to work across the aisle? Now, since you did take that, I want to kind of remix that question and say, can you do that without compromising true value?
I don't know. I don't know if I can, but unfortunately, the way our system is, things that seem like they're absolutely, I'm going to be for that. By the time it gets burdened with so many amendments and other compromises and all, it looks a lot different. So, you know, for me to say I am going to be definitely against shuffleboard or whatever, by the time the bill gets everything, by the time all the pork gets on the plate, it might not be so appetizing anymore. And so, yeah, I mean, will I? It's hard to say. It's going to be it's going to be a case by case thing, but that opportunity is there. That door is open for me to look across the aisle at somebody that's going to make sense for. If it makes sense for Somerset County, if it makes sense for Allen, if it makes sense for Pocomoke, I'm all ears. What you got, cuz? Let's go.
I love that.
I do too.
You know, the great thing, and I want to say this in closing, the great thing I like about you, you're not going to sugarcoat, you're not going to promise those things that you can't do. You're going to say you'll do your best, you work with that.
My daddy told me, he said, keep your words unvarnished, son.
Wise man.
Yes.
Wise man.
Been a pleasure.
Thank you again, and looking forward to seeing how this all turns out for you.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate your support.
All right, sounds like a plan.
All right, sir.
Thank you. This is Bridging the Gap. We'll be back. All right. Welcome back to Bridging the Gap. We are here with Scott Hamilton, who is running for Wycomico County Sheriff. Scott, thank you for sitting down with us.
Thanks, Dave. I'm glad to be here. Yeah, thanks, Dan.
First question is, why running for sheriff?
Well, you know, there's several reasons. The biggest reason is because I have a lot to do. You know, a lot of service to give back to this community. You know, I raised my family here. My wife is from here. I've been here now for 26 years, and I have a lot to give back to this community still. You know, serving in the sheriff's office for 21 years, and at the same time serving in the military for 22 years. A lot of service there, and that's all I know.
Life of service.
So, you know, my wife is a servant. My son is going to commission in the Coast Guard, and that's what our family knows is giving back to our community, and you know, to continue on that legacy. You know, that's one of the reasons why I'm running. The other is, you know, I bring a lot to the table. There's some things that I've seen, you know, from inside the agency, and now from the outside of the agency. I've seen what works. I've seen what doesn't work. So bringing some new, fresh, modern ideas to the sheriff's office it could be good. Could be good for our community, and you know, everybody needs to experience change at some point, and change is something we shouldn't be afraid of. And lastly, to give people a choice. You know, people don't have to vote for me, but at least I gave them the option. You know, for the first time in 20 years, I'm excited to give people a choice when they cast their ballot. And so those are the reasons why I'm running for sheriff.
Awesome. Now, right now, you're the president of the FOP, right?
Yes, I still serve as the president of the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 111 here in Salisbury. Represents over 7 police agencies. Sheriff's Office, Salisbury City Police, Fruitland Police, Salisbury University Police, Maryland State Police. We have 1 federal officer who's a member, and then the Pittsville Police Department. I got about 268 active members.
Okay, thank you. So, with that, you know, I mean, you work with collective bargaining for them?
We do. So Salisbury University Police, Salisbury City Police Department, and the Sheriff's Office all enjoy collective bargaining with binding arbitration. The Sheriff's Office just negotiated a great contract. We're going to see a significant pay raise for the Sheriff's deputies. It went from about... Yeah, you know, these guys are out there putting their lives on the line every day. You know, they got to put a bulletproof vest on and pray that they come home every night. So, you know, they deserve a salary that's competitive to other agencies. To see them going from $57,500 to now $70,000 starting salary, That's really good.
That's good.
You know, and we couldn't do that without the partnerships that we have. You know, as the FOP president, I've been engaged with our county executive. I've been engaged with the sheriff and the police chiefs. We have those relationships to help negotiate these benefits packages, and that's what it's all about, is being able to work together. You know, to see some of the things that's happening at the city level with their collective bargaining process, it's really disheartening. You know, to hear that the mayor, you know, during his time on the campaign trail said we need unions, and now to say that he wants to get rid of it and get rid of the process, it's really discouraging to the men and women of the Salisbury Police Department, in the civilian police employees, and the firefighters, to see that their mayor wants to do away with that process. And knowing that the sheriff's office just got a significant pay raise, and that they have 8 or 9 vacancies, the city police are going to be should be concerned with what the outcome is going to be if this goes through with the mayor's agenda.
Okay, thank you. So going further, what's next for you?
You know, going back to the FOP, advocating for the men and women on the platform that I have, it's time for me to go to a bigger platform. I've exhausted what I can do. You know, with my energy and my future, you know, getting on a bigger platform. You know, I've also been involved at the state level with the state FOP Lodge. You know, I sit on the legislative committee, and that's a committee where we have about 70 members that pay attention to what's going on in Annapolis. We support bills or oppose bills. So I've already been involved in that process. So as the next sheriff, you're going to continue to see me doing the things that I've already done, working with leadership, working with our elected leaders, and continuing to be a part of that process at Annapolis, where we support things that need to be supported or fight in opposition.
All right, in closing here, thank you. That was a great comment there. In closing, what would you tell your constituents who, in the last 20 years, there's never been anybody else that's running for sheriff? What sets out about you that they should be highlighting, knowing about?
You know, one of the biggest things is, you know, I bring fresh, new, modern ideas. You know, I've used a lot of different technologies on the battlefield. You know, through my military service, some of those things we can bring home here and use to make our community safer. I like the idea of live crime reporting. I like the idea of being able to tap into resources that are already out there that don't cost anything, where we can monitor what's going on actively and respond proactively and aggressively when you need to, right when the incident is needed. You know, so some of those things that I can bring is what I'm most excited about. You know, to leverage the things that are already working. Again, I've been there. I know what's working.
Right.
But I've also seen the things that we probably can improve upon, and where we can refocus some energy and reallocate some resources to do a better job. You know, I think that our community is ready for a change, and again, I'm excited to offer that option to them.
Awesome. I see you're kind of like out everywhere too.
I've done pretty good with being able to get into some different environments and different people, and you know, one of the things that I haven't limited myself to a certain audience. You know, yes, I'm a registered Republican, so only Republicans can vote for me
Which is crazy. Yeah.
You know, hey, that's our process. But you know, so on June 23rd, it's really important for registered Republicans to come out and vote and make their choice. But you know, I haven't limited myself to just that target group.
No, you haven't.
I have been out there talking to a lot of people on the other side of the aisle, and they're excited. You know, they're excited to have an option. They hope that I can make it through the primary so they can vote for me in November.
You know, I'm glad you brought that out because, you know, some of the people would say, I noticed that you were at the city park for something with the kids. And, you know, some people say, well, there's no Republicans out there. There's nobody going to vote. But as a sheriff, if you're the sheriff, you got to work with everybody. I'm a very big advocate. I do believe that the sheriffs should not be a partisan thing because you're representing everybody.
That's right. And that's why my slogan is more service, less politics. I don't like the idea of representing one group of people. You know, yes, I'm a registered Republican. So in typical fashion, your constituents are your voting votes or your voting base. Not so much in the sheriff's office. I look at it as it's not left or right, it's not Democrat or Republican, it's not conservative or liberal, it's law and order. If I can walk down the middle of that path and serve everybody equally, that's the service I'm ready to provide. And that's why I've been out there engaging these different organizations who aren't politically aligned with me. Because I already recognize that we have to represent everybody fairly and provide the best service that we can to our entire community, not just one group of people.
More service, less politics.
Speaks for itself.
Scott? Thank you for sitting in with
Thanks.
us.
Thanks,
Looking
David.
forward to talking to you again.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for having me here.
Yes, thank you. This is Bridging the Gap. We'll be back. All right, welcome back to Bridging the Gap. This was going to be a one near and dear to my heart because we're talking to the councilman that you're at large now, but you're running for District 2, a place where I'm from.
Right.
James Nguyen, welcome aboard, bro. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm
Good. Talk to me.
Well, I'm tired. I've been campaigning.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was in Hebron, my wife and I was in Hebron like last week, and every street we turned on had at least 5 James Nguyen signs. I mean, is there a door you haven't knocked over there?
Well, I'm getting ready to start doing that, so I haven't knocked a whole bunch yet, but
Really?
yeah, those are just people that I've just known, I guess, or I've helped them, or they've helped me, or we've worked together through my campaign, through my time being on the council right now, and they wanted to support me. And I didn't have a hard time handing signs out, so that was really nice. And
Right.
you know, I've been campaigning here for like a month now, and I can't wait for the election to be over with. I wish it was tomorrow, because it's a lot of work. It's tolling on you.
Right. You know what's unique thing about you? We had this conversation 4 years ago, and you said the exact same thing. I just want to be over with, but then you were right then you're about to get married. Now you're actually married.
Now I'm married. Yep.
Wow.
I'm married, yeah.
But let me ask you this, like, especially being a waterman, has it been easy being a councilman in that area?
Especially being a what?
A waterman and everything.
Well, I do like to fish. Now, I wouldn't classify myself as a waterman, but I would like to.
He's a waterman.
Well, I like to fish.
Duck hunt?
Yeah, we like to be on the water.
Waterman.
But for all my watermen out there that do oyster and crab, we respect all of them.
Absolutely.
And we did a seafood ordinance for them to.
Yes, you and Captain Joe.
Yeah. Joe Lappin. He had some legislation that he wanted me to put forward to give watermen some sort of protection. So they have like a seafood ordinance, and that goes across the county where it protects the watermen for their business, their job. That's what they do. So like it's the same thing with like kind of like the Right to Farm Act.
Right.
As if you move next to a chicken farm, or you move next to a hog farm, or you move next to a farm in general, and there's smells or noise or something that you can't do much about it because you move there.
Right.
And that's their livelihood. That's the work being done. And so we did the same thing with the seafood ordinance. And I contacted the Coastal Railroaders Association. They were okay with it. And so we pushed that through. And now we have some sort of legislation, or we have some sort of standing where if somebody was to move here from out of county or out of state, they move down to the west side, and they're living on the water, and they hear the guys picking their crab pots up or oystering, or their radio is really loud. Well, they can complain, but you signed a waiver saying that when you bought the house, there's a seafood ordinance. Just like there's a Right to Farm Act, there is a seafood ordinance that gives the watermen some sort of rights, to protect them from losing their livelihood. Sorry.
No. I appreciate that. Now, I do want to ask you this. You got a lot of pushback for things that were good. I mean, you got pushback for picking up the Bible and saying a couple scriptures, for praying and things like that, but you still put your name back in there. Why?
I ask myself the same question. Why? And I'll tell you why. It's because I live here. And if I'm going to live here, if I'm going to be a part of this community, I have to be involved somehow. Because I just know too much now from being on the county council, and I know how things can go, and I know how much better things can be if someone's willing to do a little bit of work to do the right thing on that council.
Right.
And that's why I'm running. I live here. if I wasn't on the council, I would be looking to move out of state, because the state here is just it's dragging people down, and it's not good for people's wallets. You know, it's hurting everybody's wallets. Cost of living is through the roof, and it's not.
You got to tell me twice.
Yeah, don't blame it on Trump. You know,
Right,
the state of Maryland is.
Start here.
Yeah, the state of Maryland is putting us out of business. Is what they're doing.
Right.
They don't want us to make money. They view me as a business owner as the problem. Yeah, and they want to raise minimum wage. They want to take all of our agricultural land, and they want to put solar panels up because they want to shut down all of our coal factories, and they've done it in the state. And people wonder why electricity is high. People wonder why cost of living is high. People wonder why taxes are high. And now, next year, if we get the same governor, which people, if you're watching, please do not vote for Westmore unless you want to have higher taxes and higher, sales tax. The sales tax is going
Air
to go
tax
up.
is kind of high too now.
Yeah, and a paint tax. They're putting a paint tax on there now.
Wow.
They want to tax you to death. And that's the problem with the state of Maryland. And so I live here right now. And as a resident of Wycomico County, and I plan on staying here for a little while longer, while I'm on this council, I will be here. And I have to be involved somehow. And like I said, if I'm not, I'm out of here, because this place wants people like me to leave, unfortunately. Wow. And being on the council, I would never have said that if I never was on the council. And I'll tell you that because since I'm on there, I know too much now. I see everything is coming down from the state. Every year, the state says, oh, well, we're going to put $10 million more on you that the county's going to have to pay for, but really the state should be picking it up. But since the state has no money, we're going to go ahead and charge the county another $10 million, and they're going to have to find the money somewhere. And so you think we're making ground because our county's growing, right? Our county is growing.
It is definitely growing.
The income tax is grown more than our property taxes now, and we've had to lower our property taxes because of the revenue cap, because we've had so many people moving into the community, right? It's funny, we had 5% of the community of Maryland is leaving, right? 5% of Maryland has left since Westmore. But Wycomico County grows, and at the same time, we still struggle with our budget because the state of Maryland wants to put everything on us. They want the counties to pay for everything.
Yeah, I mean, teachers' wages, everything.
They want us to pay for all what they're responsible for paying. So what we have to do is we have to cut services in the county. So that means we might have less pavement getting paved in the county. So if people are watching this and they're like, I'm on the fence, we're voting for Westmore or not, well, if you like high cost of living, well, you just keep on voting for a Democrat. But if you want low cost of living, get your head out of the sand and vote for a Republican, because we cannot do 4 more years of Westmore. If you want less, you vote for more. And that's the truth.
That was interesting how you said that.
No, it's true.
Right.
And I want to keep what I earn. And I have no problem paying taxes as long as it's going to the right places.
Thank you. You know,
Sorry, that was a lot, David.
No, that was great. That was great.
was a lot.
Actually, what came to my mind is that you have something that I have called production ADHD. If you're not productive, you're ready to get gone.
I'm ready to go, yeah.
Wow. So, and I know you and I have had this conversation before. This is my last little statement question. You're not a career politician, so after council.
Well, this will be my 4th year, so what's the career mean?
You know,
I'm not making any money.
This is true.
So,
but after 8 years, if elected or re-elected, you'll be there 8 years. Is this going to be the cap, or are you thinking about doing
nobody
something
knows.
else?
Nobody knows. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if we might not even be alive anymore because the world's gone so crazy. You know?
The rapture might happen.
Possibly. Or we might all just get blown up. I don't know, with a nuclear weapon
I
or
like
something.
my thought better.
I love your thought better. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to... Amen, right? So...
Wow. Councilman Wynn, thank you. I would love to, we could sit here and talk for a long time because it's so easy to talk to him. But Councilman Wynn, get back out there. You got people out there to talk to. Thank you for stopping in and talking to us.
Thank you very much, Stephen.
No problem. This is Bridging the Gap. We'll be back. Okay, Welcome back to Bridging the Gap. We're here at a meet and greet for different candidates that are running for county council, and we're here with Mayor Ben Jordan. Mayor,
Hey,
thank you once again for sitting down with us.
always.
This time as a candidate running for county council.
Yep.
What made you do that?
I mean, honestly, the same reason I got into become running for mayor was I saw a need in the community. You know, me and my wife prayed about that, and prayed about this, and took a step in faith to, you know, make a difference in the county.
And I noticed that your slogan is God, Family, County.
Yep.
I like that. I like that. So you didn't have any kind of hesitation in putting God in there?
No, but I've definitely had people that complain about it once you do. So,
Okay. Do you regret that?
no, not at all.
All right, good. How will you represent all the residents of your area, including those that did not vote for you, if they do vote for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the cool thing about dealing with the county council is because, yes, like I'm running for District 5, which encompasses Parsonsburg into Salisbury and then Delmar. But the cool part about that is just because I represent District 5,
Right.
doesn't mean that I don't have a voice for every other district in the county. From like Mardella to Hebron, which is where I originally grew up.
Okay.
You know, so there's needs across the entire county that need to be met. So I'm really looking forward to working with, you know, everybody that's going to be on the council to hopefully get some things done more on that regional scale versus, you know, just zeroed in on Delmar and Parsonsburg area.
I love that. Because what affects everywhere in the county affects Delmar and Parsonsburg area, right?
Yeah, for sure. And ultimately, like, you know, the districts, like, I need to be a voice for my district and be able to speak up. But it's also, you know, being a voice for, you know, whether it's District 1 or 3 or whatever, it really doesn't matter. It's trying to make the county a better place, you know, for the future of our kids and our families, and trying to leave a legacy that's going to stand, you know, the testament of time.
Awesome. Now, this question right here, I guess it would be kind of a difficult one for other candidates, but since you are already the mayor of Delmar, what experience do you have that's going to be able to help you to be in a county council seat and be ready to make a difference?
Yeah, I mean, when I came into Delmar and became mayor, I had a good idea, or what I thought was a good idea of what we needed to do. And then, you know, the last 4.5 years, I've learned a ton. I've learned more about wastewater treatment systems and water, you know, filtration for chemicals for the, you know, wells and all that. Like, and so the cool thing is the last 4.5 years, I've really learned how to work the legislation side of things to be able to have that positive change, and understanding how to work with not just the county but the state and federal levels to be able to get funding for our areas, which is a huge thing that a lot of people don't talk about.
Right.
But it's something big that we need to look at more, is trying to get the state and federal dollars to be spent back into our area.
Okay, good question. I mean, good answer, excuse me. Good question.
That's a good question, too.
Well, thank you. Now, I know when I drive through Delmar area and through Parsonsburg, there's a lot of farmland and everything like that.
Yeah.
And we also know there's a lot of developments that are coming up everywhere.
Yeah.
How will you be able to kind of balance that out and not just destroy the farmland area, but not like push away development?
Yeah, so like when we came into office in Delmar, a lot of the ag land that was there originally had started to get rezoned, but it was all before we had even gotten in. So the first thing is to figure out where, you know, what land is zoned agricultural now and maybe allotted to change in the future. But a big thing is like that's coming down the pipeline from the state is solar fields. And that's another thing that we don't really want to see. We don't want to see a mass solar grade on the Eastern Shore. But as far as farmland, it's near and dear to my heart. That's one of the first jobs I had growing up, was literally picking sweet corn for Birches and Westo, and then even you know, later doing chickens in Mardella, and you know, with some friends of mine. So yeah, I mean, it's, you know, the farm, we have to take care of our farmers, because without that, I mean, that is literally one of the cornerstones of the Eastern Shore.
Sure is.
Farmers and fishermen.
Sure is.
And we have to continue that legacy. And unfortunately, we have people that don't understand that. You know, they don't understand how valuable our farmland is and our watermen and how much they do for our community. And yeah, so it's important to me that when we talk about growth, we talk about it in a strategic sense, not just adding houses for the sake of houses.
Right.
But we need to make sure that we have the infrastructure in place to be able to handle those things. So.
Okay. Well, I better let you get back out there. You got a lot of people that want to meet you, and looking forward to speaking to you more in the future.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Thank you again, Mayor Jordan. We'll be back here soon with our
June
next
23rd, vote.
June 23rd, you heard it here first. Thank you again.
Yep.
Okay, welcome back to Bridging the Gap. We're now here with Mike Hout of District 7.
Six.
I'm sorry, District 6. Thank you, Mike, for sitting down with us. I just want to ask you a few questions.
Sure, thank you for having me.
First question I have for you is why? Why run?
Well, I believe I can make a difference in Wicomico County. I'm a business owner. I've been here 30 plus years, retired from the Sheriff's Department as a deputy sheriff.
Yes.
I am a small business owner here. I employ 14 people. I do mainly roads, paving roads and stuff like that there. And I have common sense. You know, I think that's what the county council needs. I certainly think that I'm able to listen to my constituents, see what they have to say. I can bring it forward to the council, and hopefully we can get some resolutions and some bills passed in the council.
Awesome. Thank you. Now, do you believe that the county is growing too fast or too slow, or?
I think it's right on pace with the rest. We're certainly not Lower Sussex County here in Wicomico County, but we are, moving at a rapid pace. I think some things need to be changed on the council, such as sewer and having a septic system, trying to gain permits to do this, gaining permits to build in Wicomico County. I think that's lacking a little bit, and certainly when I get on the council, we can make a difference and try to expedite the process that you have to do before you can build.
Thank you. Now, in your opinion, what role does the council play in supporting law enforcement?
Well, certainly I think it's a big role. There are first line responders going to any call for service in Wicomico County, and me being prior law enforcement for 30 years, I think it's imperative that they support. I don't agree with everything that the county council currently does, but they're looking out for their first responders, and I think that's a good choice. I mean, when I first started in police work, my salary was under $17,000 a year. Now the starting salary for a deputy here in Wicomico County is $70,000 plus right out of the academy.
Wow. Okay. Nice. Now, last question, because I know you got people here to meet you and all that good stuff there. What infrastructure issues do you see in your area?
I have the largest district of all in Wicomico County, us in District 2.
Yes.
I go from Parsonsburg Road to the state line, Pittsville, Powellville, Willards, Fruitland, and Allen. Huge district.
Sure.
I have a lot of concerns, people, like I said, with septic systems and the roads, and currently right now we're paving roads in Pittsville, and a lot of people has reached out to me in reference to road projects, solar problems, windmills and stuff like that there. I'm a big proponent of solar panels, but I don't think they should be on farmers' fields. I think they should be on top of the mall, for example.
Right.
We have a lot of open space that it doesn't have to be a farmer's field. That's making, Warwick has done a great job so far. They made it in their parking lot. They put solar panels so their customers can pull underneath of it and sit there. We have a mall that's almost empty. We can put a lot of solar panels in there. I certainly don't want to be a resident. I certainly don't want to be a resident looking out my front door and seeing 10,000 solar panels sitting in my front door. So, infrastructure-wise, I don't know too much about it. I have received some phone calls on it, and if I'm on the council, I'm open. I have you know, I'm open to anything. I'm willing to sit down and listen to my constituents, see what they have to say, and we'll move on from there.
Outstanding. Thank you for sitting down and talking for a few moments here.
Thank you for having me.
There's a lot of people here, a lot of people that you can meet. I hope this goes well for you.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Have a great
Bridging the
day.
Gap, we'll be back. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Nate.
Okay, welcome back to Bridging the Gap. We're here with District 7 candidate, Ross Evans. Ross, thank you for sitting in with us.
Absolutely.
Of course, this is a brand new district, so we can't compare the notes from the year before. But real quickly, tell us why you're running.
Candidly, I'm running for the next generation and trying to create a vision and a path for the community and where we want this community, this county to be in 10, 15, 20 years. That's the big piece for me. Is like, let's get out of the minutia. Let's get out of looking right in front of our face and start looking much more forward thinking.
Love that. Great answer. Great answer. Now, how will you keep residents informed about your decisions on council?
Well, communication in any setting is very key. I've found that through my career. And there's many avenues for communication, but it's just being willing and able to get out there and make yourself available, whether it's via email. There's so many different technology pieces that we can utilize these days. Many different things are good with me, but my biggest thing is, hey, email, phone calls. Like, we will have ways to get access and to reach out to folks. And that's one of my biggest things and my strategies right now is getting out to the community members and having conversations with stakeholders, whether it's individual citizens or people I have respect for, or business owners. That's really one thing right now for me is like, hey, I will never claim to be the smartest person in the room. You've got to go out as a leader and go find the folks that are dealing with these issues day in, day out, to be able to figure out where do we need to focus our resources, where do we need to be focusing. And so that's a big piece right now. I'm doing it as part of my campaign, is just getting out there and communicating in various different formats to be able to get the intel from those that are truly being affected day in, day out by county issues.
All right, good answer, good answer. Now, what would you say would be the top 3 funding priorities for you?
I would say, number one, obviously, we need to continue to fund the schools and make sure we take care of our next generation and the education that goes around that. And number 2 would definitely be infrastructure. We have some challenges on the shore. Hey, I used to joke when I'm going across the country for business. I used to laugh at, hey, I get a little queasy if I'm not driving over water every 10 minutes. So, there's that challenge around here where, that is definitely something that we look at. So infrastructure and the wastewater and water is one thing that it cannot be fixed overnight, but it's something we need to be cognizant of and begin planning for. And that's definitely something that the infrastructure needs to be a big focus for us. And I guess that's really only 2, but those are really 2 big issues for me. And it then more broadly just goes to, hey, let's hold ourselves to a higher standard as a county. Let's look at this, and it's not just about what we says we got to do this. That's fine. Let's go above and beyond. That's how I felt like I've been successful professionally. Is standards here, but we're going to hold ourselves to something higher than that.
Wow.
And then that's how you make a greater impact with folks.
Never cap yourself too low there.
Exactly, and always be reevaluating. Complacency is a very dangerous thing, and I think that we need to continually keep looking to set the bar higher for ourselves as a county, and doing things that really make it so that we're more attractive for solid families to come here and choose to live in Wicomico. It's a very unique district and a unique county that we have because geographically we're in a predicament. We've got Sussex County, which you talk to any developer, you talk to any business owner, it's going bonkers. You've got Worcester County, and everybody's, well, they have the beach, they're always going to have the beach. But there are levers we can pull that I believe we should be looking at pulling in the future for this county to make it more competitive and draw people back to Wicomico County, like what drew my family here in the mid-'80s and why I was born and raised here.
Incredible answer. Thank you. Thank you. And now, you did talk about families moving here. Of course, families not going to move here if there's no business. What can we do, or what can the council do to help to attract businesses back to Wicomico?
It's a great question, and I do think that, specifically, it's one of those things where we just got to go get input. One of my things that, I'm fortunate I've got some friends that work in HR for some of these larger businesses, and I think it's very important that we go and seek those folks that are hiring and figure out things and figure out directly from the source. Their job, they are compensated to come here and to bring good people into these businesses positions. So let's go get directly to them, find out their feedback on what it is that either sways them to say move to Wacomico County or sways them to say to move somewhere else. And let's look in the mirror and have some really good self-awareness to say, all right, here are our issues that we're hearing directly from the source. Let's start making efforts to put resources and time into those issues so that we're taking the weaknesses and turning them into strengths. And so there are other levers as well, but creating an environment that makes it so that businesses are like, this is a great place to live has got to be it. And yeah, there are things we can do, and it's one of those things that, again, you can't just pull the faucet, turn it on or off. It's something that's got to be much more forward thinking, and that's
planning.
You can't, we want to sit there and say, hey, I want summer 9 months out of the year. Like, let's be realistic and let's look at this and say, okay, here are levers we realistically can pull. Some of them that we can make an immediate impact. Some of them are going to be a 5, 10, 15 year picture. But looking broader, not being worried about yourself, but being focused on the county is my biggest mission in running for this office, is that it's not about me, which the self-promotion of running for office is very, makes me very uneasy if I'm being candid with you. But, it goes back to, this is about the next generation. This is about the county more broadly. And if we can create that vision for what we want Wacomico County to be 15, 20 years from now, and make every decision founded in that, this is the target, this is where we want to get, we will get there. One little small step at a time.
Wow. Well, I don't have any more questions here right now, but I would love to have you in studio to definitely have a full interview. But Ross, that was good. I'm looking forward to talking more with you.
Really appreciate it.
Was there anything that you'd like to say before we conclude this?
My biggest thing is, hey, the November elections for us, obviously no primaries in District 7 for the county council seat, but it's a long cycle, and just be out there in the community and do what you would do for others. The golden rule is really big for me. Absolutely. And that's one of those things. Hey, we got to have folks that continue to put the greater good of the county at the forefront, and that's really where I'm at. Let's create that vision. Let's always think about the county first in every decision and everything we do.
I'm going to attach a scripture before we leave. Without the vision, the people perish. You seem to have a vision. Stick to it.
Very much appreciate it.
I appreciate you. This is Bridging the Gap. We'll be back.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Haters talk, let the rumors fly. I ain't got time to wonder why. The good Lord knows the man I am, and I'll die standing tall with a mic in my hand. You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't selling my soul for a seat at your table. I'm rough, I'm raw, I'm wild, I'm able. You can hate my fire, but you can't kill my spark. I'm a midnight flame burning through the dark. So kick them rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. You can kick rocks. You can kick rocks. You can kick rocks. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk.
Hi everybody, I'm David James. I'm actually from Tiburon, born and raised down here. I'm also bridging the gap, which anytime I get an opportunity, Matthew, Cameron, and all the others, anytime we do something, I want to make sure everybody in this county knows about it. I'm very proud of seeing what has happened in these last 3.5 years, and what y'all are doing here is extraordinary. I do have a concern as I'm looking around the room right now. If you look around the room, probably the only dark skin when you see in here. However, the West Side does have all colors. Now, what's so great about here? I'm 50 years old. All right, born and raised on the Tiburon Road. What was so great and what kept everybody together was love. And this place still has it. However, for some reason, there's been a separation. Well, I was talking to my wife, and I don't like to put my foot in my mouth and say I want to do something without the net telling me, hey, you can do it. So I want to extend whatever we can do to help to try to integrate it more. Get people, because I know when we get out there on the Christmas dinner, you got everybody here. my last fact of the day. We started Bridging the Gap on Pac 14 as a local producer 1 year ago this month. And our very first guest was Julie Giordano.
Look at that. And
So
here we are a
here
year
we are.
later. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you to you two. I think you put out a quality product. You search for the truth. You don't create narrative. You don't just invent things, for, to create shows. Like, you really seek out, the information, and you go to the source, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you. You might see that clip in a lot of different spots. I appreciate that. Seriously. Well,
Man, I am and I'll die standing tall with a mic in my hand. You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't selling.